or kind of RJ Hampshire comes up with an overall win last week at Budds Creek.
But it's still the Jet Lawrence show as far as the points are concerned. He has a 37-point lead. If he can leave here with a 50-point lead, he could wrap the title up one race early. So how do you think he plays it today?
I think he tries to get up front and take what it comes to him, but if it doesn't, he's not going to force the issue. I mean, again, a 37-point lead with just 4 motos left, that's quite comfortable. So I would not push it. I would just try to click off the motos and just time's on your side.
Here's the racetrack. They will be racing on MX versus ATV Legends track map. All right, Brock, what's Ironman all about?
Ironman's about a lot of really, really good dirt. We talked chocolate cake mix here, but also a lot of elevation change and the steepness of some of these jumps. I mean, this is crazy. This is a Godzilla jump right here. Almost impossible to walk up that jump. We did it on a track walk on the MX Combine, and most of the riders were having to traverse across it. So again, big jumps, big air, great dirt. And one thing that every rider pretty much, you'll see there's 2 words that nearly every rider uses to describe this track: tough and ruts. And we're fortunate we don't have 100-degree weather, or we don't have rain. Today is perfect, but again, lots of ruts, and it's a tough track.
And the story of the 250 division, which will be the first race today. Jet Lawrence, 37-point lead. Let's see if he can wrap up this title the second straight year, a week early. Going to be tough against this field, and a lot of new young riders starting to join the ranks as well. Hayden Deegan making his pro debut. Stay with us.
One of the main reasons for poor vehicle performance is a dirty fuel system. It can cause decreased fuel economy and actually do harm to your engine over time. By adding Lucas fuel treatment to your vehicle, it cleans and lubricates the entire fuel system: pump, carburetors, fuel injectors, and valves as you drive. It also improves your vehicle's performance. It's a non-solvent product designed to protect both gasoline and diesel engines. Lucas Fuel Treatment. It works.
Meet Renee, bank manager and mom of the year. But when she gets on her bike, she becomes Rebel Renee. Rebel Renee is the most outspoken member of her book club. And she didn't even read the book. It's rumored she once used her phone at trivia night.
Cleveland.
And she isn't above greasing some palms to get things done. And Rebel Renee rides with Geico because savings and great service are 2 things she'd never rebel against. Geico, savings and service for both your sides.
Protect the Harvest was created to defend and preserve American freedoms and to support farmers, ranchers, outdoor enthusiasts, and animal owners. Protecting agriculture, protecting our rights, our traditions, our rural way of life. Protecting America. To get involved, please visit our Facebook page or protecttheharvest.com. Support us by donating today. Protect the Harvest is a nonprofit 501c3 corporation registered in Missouri.
Here at Tuners Inc., we see cars come in with 80 horsepower all the way up to 1,500 horsepower. The goal of almost every customer in here is to pick up performance in the vehicle. They want to gain horsepower, they want to gain torque. What we have found with E3 spark plug is the quality of the plug and the way it's built. E3 is our performance plug that's going to last longer.
E3 Diamond Fire technology maximizes the fuel burn for more power and better fuel efficiency.
E3 spark plugs. What are you running?
The 50th anniversary season of Pro Motocross is brought to you by Lucas Oil. Keep that engine alive. General Tire. For whatever you do, General Tire delivers. And by Honda, celebrating 50 years of off-road dominance.
Riding along with Pierce Brown here. This is from practice earlier today on his Chorley Designs Red Bull gas. Got the GoPro camera mounted behind the front number plate. Beautiful view over Godzilla at the top of Ironman Raceway. So that is one view of the track. Spectators have got trackside to get their view, and here's what you will see on television. So much news developing in this 250 class. Potential title wrap for Jet Lawrence, and then a lot of new riders jumping into the championship. So let's welcome some of the new riders in. Send it down to Jason Thomas.
A lot of excitement today for Hayden Deegan's debut in Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. Now, I spoke with his father earlier, and you would think there's a lot of expectation, and can he get on the podium in his first race ever? And it really wasn't that. It was more of just tempering expectations, and more than anything, his dad just wants him to learn here. He's got elite level riders like Justin Cooper on the team that he can just watch and see what they do on the course of a race day. And the results don't really matter, right? He just wants to be better, and the next time they come here, be a little bit more prepared.
So Hayden Deegan was racing the Scouting Moto Combine at Redbud and absolutely dominated. So the plan was to race the Combine for amateurs here, but he did so well there, they kind of fast-tracked him. He could go back to the amateur races if he chooses to, so a big learning experience for him today. I don't know if they expect him to lead or win or anything like that, and we had a chance to actually ask Hayden himself earlier what his expectations were for today.
My hopes accomplished are be there the whole moto, the whole 35, not drop off, and just stay in the fight. I don't know exactly where I'll stand. I haven't raced against these guys, but wherever I'm at, I want to make sure I keep pushing forward and get some good starts.
And Deegan also dominated one of his classes at Loretta Lynn's, the Big Amateur National, a few weeks ago, and he's got a big following on YouTube. So that's where a lot of the attention comes from, if you folks are wondering. Now, as we focus on this race, what are our KTM's keys to the moto, Brock?
Well, the obvious, the good start. Ironman is exceptionally important to get a good start here. They have a lot of ruts, and if you get caught behind 4 or 5, maybe deep in the field, you're not going to make it through and nail the ruts. It is an important track to be able to be a good rut rider, and that's what you're going to hear all the riders talk about.
However, I got to say, this track at one point had built up this rep for these unbelievably deep, long ruts. It has ruts today, but not quite as long and deep as they were years ago.
Well, we've had unseasonably dry, lack of rain in the area, and that is what it is. We've come here, always extreme elements. This is our 9th time coming here, and we've had rain, we've had 100-degree weather.
Yeah.
We have none of that. It's perfect weather, limited rain, so the track's not as deep as it usually is.
Yep, riders talking about being able to hop around and get out of those reps because they're not as long. Justin Cooper, no surprise, was your Monster Energy fastest qualifier today. He actually topped both sessions. He's still trying to get his first overall win of the year. He's had a couple moto wins over the last few races. Last week was a little under the weather, but you kind of feel like that overall win for him is almost inevitable at some point before this year is over. So much to talk about. Jet Lawrence still leading the points. Joe Shimoda, RJ Hampshire, you mentioned on the top of the show, coming on strong. Also, another pro debut is Gavin Towers today. So a lot of new riders joining the ranks, other riders finding their form as the year goes on. It's the opposite. Normally the field gets weaker as the season goes on.
And we've been adding to it in both classes, actually. We had a couple of factory riders come back as we're sitting here looking down the start here. Long start, not as long as it used to be, but into a sharp 90-degree right-hand corner, and that's it's important to be up front through that corner.
So here we go, first race for 4 hours of coverage here on MAV TV. It's time. That's one of the riders I think Cooper banged into out of the gate, and it's going to be Nate Thrasher and RJ Hampshire. Thrasher is going to grab the motorsport.com whole shot, but Cooper turns the #1 gate pick into a bad start. He got bumped and banged around, but his teammates in the lead.
Last week's winner, RJ Hampshire, went around the outside of the first corner and was able to put himself into second position there. Had a little bit of a bobble there, but he's able to hold on. We see number 36, Max Bolan, on the factory KTM in third.
Yeah, Bolan making some moves. He got Guillem Ferez, the young rider out of Spain who opened some eyes last week, running in fourth right now in the 109. And then it's Jet Lawrence, your series leader. Look at Bolan. Not seen many good starts out of Max this year, but he's quietly been riding very well, and now we're getting to see what he can do up front.
And the riders, you already see them using the edges of the track, trying to avoid the main ruts with a lot of the bumps in them. And so they're using the extreme left and right. And here they head towards the big monster jump. And there's so many big air jumps out here. It's great for the riders, great for the fans. But it's surprisingly a lot of elevation changes at Ironman Raceway in such a flat part of the country.
Bolan still putting serious heat on Hampshire right now, but so close to the podium a couple times this year, the 36, second-generation rider out of Northern California, and he's in position early today.
Yeah, just passed his father on the way to the TV compound just a little bit ago, Talon Bolan. But surprising, Max qualified 12th, and he's running up front, putting a lot of pressure on last week's winner there. And RJ Hampshire, he's trying to rebound and do a back-to-back. We'll see what happens.
And then how about Ferez, the Spaniard, back there in fourth? I talked to him before this moto. He works a regular job in a grocery store in the winter back in Spain, and he can't race with us next weekend because he has to go back and race in the German Championship as you see Bolan continue to put heat on Hampshire. So, and Fedez rides a KTM overseas. He had never ridden a Yamaha until 2 weeks ago. Got 6th in our first moto last week, running 4th in this moto here. And right there with last week's winner, Hampshire. Oh, and we hear a crash for Michael Moseman. Wow, that was impressive by Bolan. Happened to Moseman here. He's in the right side. Oh, end over end.
That was my third key to the race for the 250 riders. These guys have to stop doing this. This is immaturity, pushing too hard early in the race. There's a lot of riders who do this in the 250. You just don't see it that often in the 450s. The riders just have more maturity. It's the bottom line.
So, and it's happened to Moseman quite a bit this year. He's had the speed, no doubt. Godzilla, the big uphill triple, and they're keeping Thrasher in sight. You know, I was saying Bolan, we haven't seen many good starts this year. Kind of the same story on Thrasher. I think he's been faster than the results show, but we have not seen him up front like this very often.
Well, we talked about Justin Cooper qualifying. He nearly 1.5 seconds faster than Jet Lawrence. But that Star Racing team, you know, is just packed with so many people that are able to go. Those riders are so fast. They race against each other. And Hayden Deegan, we talked about that. But Thrasher ended up qualifying 5th. Levi Kitchen was 7th. So they have a lot of top riders.
And Lawrence has moved around Fedez to get into the number 4 spot. Jet Lawrence, your series leader. And somehow Justin Cooper is with him. I don't know how Cooper is able to recover, but he's right there behind his young teammates. So some of the contenders moving back toward the front. But Bolan might be the story right now. He's gotten around Hampshire. He's up to 2nd. It's a coming out party for Bolan we've been waiting for.
It is. I mean, I didn't realize that Mac ride at Ironman Raceway so well. I mean, he's from Sacramento area and, you know, comes out here and is really putting in a fabulous early moto here.
And Nate Thrasher, who's never won a moto in Lucas Oil Pro Motocross, leads. See if Bolan can get him down. I don't know how many people had Thrasher and Bolan 1-2 on the bingo card early in this moto, but that's what we keep saying. This 250 field is getting more unpredictable with each week. It usually doesn't go that way.
It's exciting to watch, and it's hard to announce, but it's fun for the fans. And being a fan of the sport, like so many other people are, we like to see a lot of mixing it up and a lot of different winners.
Yep. So Thrasher right now, one of 6 riders that they have on that Star Racing Yamaha team right now. We'll show you the pass Bolan around Hampshire here in the box.
Yeah, he just gets a great ride, but he scrubs the jump and just carries a little bit more speed there and comes up into the tree corner. That tree corner is usually the inside line's the fastest rut, but as it gets more dug up, deeper, they start moving around, and we're really seeing that on the track right now. The riders at this point, the track hasn't gotten rough enough to where they can't use the edges, but pretty soon those edges, extreme edges, are going to get rough enough. They're going to have to probably start going back into that deep rut that we just saw on the screen. Those things are 2-3 feet deep, and they're going to get nothing but deeper.
Bolan, by using some different lines, Brock, is closing on Thrasher. We have a battle for the lead now.
This is incredible right now. I mean, Bolan just run it. Last lap was a 2:01.9. He's the only rider into the 2:01s. Thrasher did a 2:02.4. So we're going to see right now what happens if he's got that extra half a second. And that half a second is about what we're seeing on the screen.
We're seeing them pull away from Hampshire, last week's winner. Then it's Jet Lawrence, Cooper, Fedez, Hunter Lawrence 7th, McAdoo, Hamaker, and Shimoda round out the top 10. Bolan has got a bead on the inside. He's trying to get down and make that move.
Yep, being riding in 2nd place here, it gives him the luxury of picking some different lines and seeing where he's faster, or maybe he's not faster than Thrasher. But right here, he's doing what it takes. Look at these lines. You see outside, the great drone cam footage right here. Right here, coming into a right-hander. Max is on the inside of right before the finish line.
Might have it right here. No, Thrasher gets a better drive. That rut really caught Bolan.
Yeah, coming down here is one of the trickier sections on the track here at Ironman Raceway. It's usually very rutted and bumpy, but you're also trying to take a glance over your mechanic's chalkboard to see what he's riding on it. But really, for safety first, I don't think the riders can always see what the mechanics are putting on that board.
Yeah, that's a typical section without trying to look over and read. As for Bolan, he's been around 4th and 5th in a ton of motos this year, I think 5 times, but has not gotten that moto or overall podium. So that's what's on the line right now. No better way to get in the podium than to win it. But same story for Thrasher. Doesn't have a moto podium this year. and now running in the lead. And 7 minutes have quickly clicked off here, and you're not seeing the press coming from either Hampshire or Lawrence. They're all alone.
And I'm not making excuses for Jet Lawrence by any means, but a 37-point lead, this is a track that can reach out and bite you. I'm sure the Honda camp has told him, just take your start, take what the track gives you, don't push it. You just need to wrap up this championship, and it can come because we see right here his nearest contender, Joe Shimoda's back in 9th place. So he's well ahead of Joe, and all he needs to gain is an extra, 13 points.
Yeah, that could be half of them right here in this moto. Bolan, as we watch in second. So Jet Lawrence hasn't even led laps in 3 races. Didn't lead laps at Washougal, Unadilla, or Budds Creek. Do you think there's any panic, or is there something wrong there, or is this championship management mode?
Championship management mode, and I don't think there's any panic. And it's what's the over and under on that? Honestly, the over and under on Jet not leading a lap in 3 straight races that was a bit of pretty long odds there. Yep. But we talk about Max Bolan here. Really spent his time, kind of a conservative kid that did not, his dad's tutor, I guess coaching, bringing him up. They didn't spend a lot of time on a supercross track. He rode motocross more, so he does tend to be a little bit better motocross rider. And remember the coming out party at Fox Raceway where he led for 20-something laps till the bike quit? Yeah, so he's very capable of winning a moto.
Yeah, Bolan had a really rough Monster Energy Supercross season, and he said before this motocross campaign, he's like, we're just going to pretend that didn't even happen. Don't let that drag the confidence down, and he's really accomplished that. Quietly is 6th in the series standing, so it's been a good year for him. And you got to be impressed with Thrasher here also, who's 9th in points. His best moto finish this year, 6th. And he had one of those 6th-place finishes at our second moto last week at Budds Creek. So Thrasher starting to put it together, and Bolan starting to put it together. Still a little surprising to see them 1-2, but if you really look inside the numbers, they have been slowly but surely getting better week in and week out.
Well, and it's just as we say that, as they say, don't look over your shoulder because somebody might be gaining. Jet Lawrence just also turned into 2:01.7, so that's only a 1/10 of a second away from Nate Thrasher's best lap time, and it's coming a little deeper into the race here after lap 5 and I think you're going to see Jet start making a move here forward.
Yeah, he's about 5 seconds off, like you said. Hampshire is lurking, but yes, Jet Lawrence in 4th is definitely closer to Hampshire than he was. We talked about a lot of the young riders in this field late in the season. We'll give you the Beta Motorcycles drone cam to show you that's Ryder DeFrancisco up ahead, and then Hayden Deegan right behind him. That is 12th and 13th. So it's time right now to watch these 2 kids battle it out. We also have Gavin Towers making his pro debut today. Towers is in 26th, and we might even get another debut next week. There's Chance Hymas dominated the scouting combine for amateurs yesterday with 1-1 scores, and he's leaving hints that he might turn pro next week at Fox Raceway. So much young talent coming into the pro ranks here late in 2022.
I'd love to have a word with either one of those guys afterwards and say, where was it? What you expected? Was it, did you think you were going to do better or worse, or how was the competition? Because I'm not taking anything away from these guys. They're phenomenal riders dominating the amateur ranks, and they move up to the pros, and they're right here 5 seconds off of the pace, and that's a significant amount.
And now Thrasher has gotten away from Bolan, and Bolan is back into the clutches of Hampshire, and Jet Lawrence is coming with him. Hampshire battled it out last week with Mosiman for a bit, and then put another charge on. He's done the same here.
Yeah, RJ had just a slight little peek under his shoulder as he could see that red bike, hear that red bike. You can feel that presence, and right there, here comes Jet. So Jet's got the speed there, getting the drive up here towards Godzilla, already putting 3 or 4 bike lengths on RJ. So again, I think Jet's coming. He wants to take advantage of the fact that Joe Shimoda didn't get a very good start, and he could take a big chunk of points right there on his, help him on his way to the championship.
8th place is Shimoda right now, so it could potentially be in play for Jet to wrap up the title early. He needs to gain 13 points on Shimoda. He's all over Bolan for the number 2 spot. Couldn't get the drive out of the inside of that corner, and Bolan was very good at scrubbing that, keeping it low. That's where he passed Hampshire, and he uses it to hold off the number 1.
Yeah, this is fun to watch right here. I got a chuckle out of when you said something about we're going to, control, alt, delete the Supercross season completely, erase it. And being a golfer, that I try to go with that motto too. They always say that golfers are the best golfer is the one with the bad memories, and I think motocross can say the same thing. You don't want to remember your bad days. You want to just focus on the good stuff.
Yeah, nice rebuild for Bolan. He's been very strong this summer. Just haven't seen him much because of the starts, but now he started up front, and that means you're going to have to deal with the champ, Jet Lawrence. And meanwhile, Nate Thrasher has dropped the hammer. 4-second lead for the Yamaha man up front, so we'll watch this battle for second. And let's send it down to Jason Thomas with more on Thrasher.
Jensen Hendor, team manager for the 250 side of Monster Star Yamaha. Now, Nate Thrasher rips a hole shot. We've seen this happen in Supercross, right? He's got some unexpected wins, and he looks like he's on his way to doing that same thing here at Moto 1 at Ironman.
Yeah, he's riding really good. We did a lot of starts this week. We actually had Michael Lessie come out and help us out with some start technique, and looks like it paid off, so that's great. He's got the speed to run up there, so we're excited to see where it pans out for sure.
Well, the funny thing is that all the hype about Deegan, you've got Justin Cooper, you know, contending for moto wins week after week, and then it's Nate Thrasher that's stealing the headlines for now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We watched Jet Lawrence just made the move on Max Bolan, but how about the start coach, Michael Lessie, one of the greatest ever? The team brought him in.
I just, both of us, the look we gave each other in the booth there when he said that. That was a tidbit of information. Good job, JT and Jensen, for spilling it.
Well, it's kind of the way Star operates. They leave no stone unturned. They called Michael Lessie, who no longer races at this level, one of the best in the business, and it obviously helped. Now Bolan and Hampshire resumed their battle. Now it's for third because Lawrence has gotten around them, but it is a good fight right now.
Yeah, RJ right there. He's bobbling on the way into the turn. He just about fell down there. But one thing I liked what RJ was doing was he's just taking an alternative line. I mean, you can't follow in these ruts. The chances of Max making a mistake might be 10, 20%. And if he does, then you got around him. If not, at least you're not stuck in behind him.
And then Cooper would be next in line. He would be fifth. There he just goes by on another one of the Yamahas. But Thrasher, now the stopwatch will tell the tale. Can Jet Lawrence track him down for the moto win as Hampshire and Bolan continue to fight?
So what was it, 3 or 4 laps ago where we saw that Cooper was almost on the rear fender of Jet Lawrence, and now right you look on the score, or the timing and scoring here, and Jet's pulled 7-8 seconds on Justin Cooper. So not what Justin Cooper wanted to see, but I'll tell you right now, even though we're seeing
Hampshire's on the inside, Brock.
Exactly, making his move right here. Max might be, I'm a little deflated, but not. You shouldn't be. I mean, really, he rode really well. He battled the champ and Jet Lawrence pretty darn hard. He's battling last week's winner really hard. So there's a lot to be taken away from this race by Max Bolan. That's very positive.
And he's not done. He's looking to get Hampshire back, working the inside all the way down that long straightaway.
Yeah, and we saw RJ have a big crash there in practice, right coming out of that first corner, reminiscent of more what you would see on a high side in a MotoGP than motocross, but looks like he's physically recovered and didn't get too banged up.
Yeah, he's up into third down that Rockstar Husqvarna. You see Lawrence up ahead, and he is rapidly closing. He has what was a almost 5-second deficit to Thrasher, already down to 3.1. So Jet's on a rail to the front.
Well, right now we've got obviously Max Bolan on camera. One thing I like what I see Max does, he picks up the throttle early. He doesn't overcharge the corner. He picks up the throttle early, power slides a little bit on the rear wheel, and it just keeps the front end nice and light, and it's a little easier to steer and not have the front end bouncing around. So he's he like slows the bike a little early, picks up the throttle early, and steers a little bit with the power.
There's Thrasher, your race leader on the 49, halfway home. In 15 minutes, he could save 15% or more on your insurance with a 15-minute phone call to Geico. And now Jet Lawrence looms in the shot.
Yeah, Nate Thrasher, he knows. I mean, there's no question he's getting the pit board that it's that number one Jet Lawrence is coming. But all you can do at this point, hey, I'm riding as fast as I can. I know I can go fast for 30 minutes plus 2 laps. I do it all week long. I train it. I've been doing it for years now. So just focus forward and go. You never know what's going to happen to Jet. You don't have to worry if he's behind you. If he gets you, he gets you. If he doesn't, go get a second.
And as Jason Thomas, our pit reporter, alluded to, this is kind of the script on Thrasher. You won't notice him for weeks. And then all of a sudden, things come together. He had 2 Supercross wins last year in Atlanta, won the Supercross finale this year. So you check in on Hampshire and Bolan. And now a breakout ride for him, leading them around. Cooper is starting to close on Bolan for 4th.
He is. He's using some of that qualifying speed that he has, and he's closing in on the number 36 of Max Bolan. But, I mean, you talk about, you know, Nate Thrasher having this speed just kind of coming out of nowhere, a little inconsistent, of course. But Levi Kitchen popped off a moto win at Thunder Valley this year, and it's like, has he won another one all year? No, and it's not, he hasn't even been close. So it's that Star Racing group, they've got a lot of guys in the right situation can win.
And now, Jet Lawrence in a situation where he can win because he's looking to make the pass on Thrasher. That's where he got Hampshire, and he takes the lead from Thrasher.
That was a great racecraft move right there. Just had a little bit shorter line. You know, obviously inside line is shorter distance, carried more speed, picked a nice rut there. Good job by Jet, and then he's now got the lead, and we look back and say Shimoda's up to 7th, but again, he could take a big chunk, and I do really think, you know, of course, Jet wants to leave here with the championship wrapped up. He'd like to just go to the Fox Raceway next week and just be able to go there and say, hey, I have nothing to worry about. Championship's already mine.
Take us through it again. We got a different angle. Again, same area. He passed Hampshire and he makes the move.
Right, just a little bit on his inside shoulder there, and then also cuts to the inside, and you see his ruts just butter smooth there. Pins the throttle. Nothing Thrasher can do. I mean, Jet could take him all the way off the edge.
Let's send it down to JT.
You know, we've been talking about this is the first lap that Jet's going to have led in 3 consecutive races. And, you know, I've talked to his agent, Lucas Murdo. I've talked to people around him, and they all downplay it. They said it's not a big deal. He's got the championship lead. That's all that matters. But I'm telling you, Jet is a racer, and he cares. Like, this is a big deal to him. He knows that. He doesn't want to coast his way to a championship. He wants to win his way to a championship, and I think that's where you're seeing this fire come from.
Yeah, 5th to 1st, and in a short amount of time. It's been a nice luxury to be able to just turn it up when you want and go all the way to the front. Battles continue on this racetrack, but right now it's Lawrence leading Thrasher and Hampshire, Bolan and Justin Cooper. We'll be right back from the Ironman National.
I can't have you just rolling your eyes at us. You got some.
Hey, where are you going? Hey. That's the giveaway bike. Hey, come on.
Hey, we're supposed to put that back in the shop.
Get off that thing.
They're supposed to be riding that thing.
That's the giveaway bike. Come on, man.
Enter to win at motorsport.com/win.